In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a histogram in Excel. If you want to follow along, I have the link to this data set in the notes to this video, so you can follow along. And I wanted to note that I'm using Microsoft Office 365 as my version here, so yours might look a little bit different. The first thing to be aware of is to do this most easily. What you want to do is on the Data tab, make sure you have this data analysis option. This is an add-in to Excel, and if you don't have it, I'll show you how to get it really quickly. All you need to do is come over here to File, go down to Options, and under Options, click on Add-ins. You can see the very first thing up here, Analysis Toolpack. Just click on that and click OK. We'll click on Go, sorry. When you click on Go, you want to make sure these two things are checked. Now click OK. And when you've done that, you should see this option pop up here. When you click on that, you'll see a variety of statistical techniques you can do. And these are just basically tools that make the functions that you're going to use in Excel work a little bit more easily for you. Click on Histogram. And OK. All right, now all you have to do is you have to fill in here the range for the data you want to include. If you do that, you're going to get, and I can just click on the column and it'll say everything in that column. And I can click on labels to tell it there's a label at the top of my column. If you don't have a label there, you don't click on that. When you do that, it's going to create the default histogram with the default divisions between bars or bins. Okay, and so you want, we'll go ahead and look at that first just to see what that looks like. You want to tell it where you want it to go. This first option will put it somewhere on this same sheet you're on. You click on it and you tell it the cell for the upper left-hand corner where you want your results to be. Or I usually use a new worksheet. That'll just pop open a new tab down here below, a new sheet where the results go, or you can have a new workbook altogether. Now this will only give you the particular, default ranges of data and the counts or frequencies within each of those categories. If you want to see the actual histogram, you're going to have to click on this chart output. Okay, so you're going to want to put that down there to see the actual histogram. And I'll click OK to show you what by default we get. It pops open and you see that we get how it's divided things into bins or groups and the frequency falling in that group. I can make this larger so I can look at it, and you can see that's probably really not what I want. So I'm going to go back and do some revision. So here you can see that I have values go from 44.79 up to 73. So basically, say between 40 and 75. I'm going to go back to my first sheet. And what I can do is I can create some information here that tells me how I want to divide up my data. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in here the upper values for each bar. So let me just show you. If I put these values in here, what it's going to say is the first bar is going to be values up to and including 45. The next bar will be those just above 45 up to including 50, and so on. So again, these are the upper limits for each of my bars. Okay, and before that, the first thing I want to put right above that is going to be what I want to label these values as representing. Okay, these are going to be sums of the sum scale variable. I'll just put sum there. Okay, you'll see what I mean when we do it. That's going to be a label that goes underneath the bars that tells what these values represent. So now I can go back to this particular option here, the data analysis, click again on histogram, and you'll see that it has by default what I had in there before. Okay, I can change that now if I want. I'm going to click on the bin range, and when I do that, I want to select everything here, including this subtitle. Essentially, it's going to be for what the height of the bars represent. And again, these are all the maximum values. So I'm going to have one bar that's everything up to and including 45, and one that's just above everything just above that and up to including 50, and so forth. Okay, and make sure these options are correct. Make sure you've got one that gives you your actual chart output, or you won't see anything, and tell it whether labels are included in this range here. Click OK. And now you see this worksheet pops up, looks a lot cleaner. What I have is sum right here. That was that little title I put, and then this is my bars are all labeled here, and so forth. So that's the basics of how to create a histogram. You can do some editing if you want. You know, I can click on it and edit that chart title. I can use this to edit the style, how it looks, to make it just exactly what I want. Let's suppose I want these bars to look more like that. Whatever I want to do, I can do, and I can, you know, again, edit my title and so forth, edit this label here that says frequency. Maybe I want to change it to say count or something else. Whatever I want to do here, I can edit that. I can edit this here in case what I put there wasn't really what I wanted, and so forth. And these particular values here you see are pretty fixed, and they're based on that cell that I put before. And again, it gives you the table at the same time. So that's a brief overview of how to create a histogram here in Excel.